Hi guys, today we are going to be learning about the body's defenses against infection, so a little bit about immunity. And what we'll do today is kind of talk about a couple of the players, see how they interact when something foreign invades the body, and then when we meet on Wednesday, we'll talk a little bit about how it has to relate to the coronavirus too, and how our body responds to that, and we'll probably do a couple extensions with what we know, and I'll help you understand them a little bit better then. So I'm going to do this in a series of 3 videos just so they're not super long and they load more easily. And in this first video, we're just going to write at the very top, body defenses against infection. So what I want you to do is copy along with me. I am going to use colored pencils. If you don't have those, no worries. You can just do it all in one color. And what I want you to do when you're done with all of these is upload your notes, a picture of them, to Google Classroom, all right? And that will be your grade for this. So the body has a couple of defenses against infection. There's 2 types in particular. There's non-specific defenses that the body has, which means it's going to respond to something foreign invading it, like a pathogen, which is something that would cause a disease, or just an antigen that just causes an inflammatory response or an immune response in general. And non-specific defenses are general defenses that your body uses. So no matter what enters, your body would react with these couple of things. For example, mechanical barriers like your skin help to keep foreign objects out. Enzymes in your body will break them down. You'll end up having most likely a fever that will try and fight off this infection no matter what it is. Inflammation can occur, and phagocytosis, where white blood cells will just attack whatever enters your body. There's also specific responses to infection, and those provide resistance to particular pathogens. And the way they do this is using white blood cells that recognize specific foreign molecules. So those are our 2 main types of defenses. Now, when we talk about this system, we're going to see lots of players involved, including the skeletal system, which is where a lot of these white blood cells that fight off infection are created. We'll talk about the lymphatic system, which houses a lot of these white blood cells. The respiratory system helps with those non-specific defenses. It has mucus and hairs in the nose and cilia, all working to push away bad foreign objects into your digestive system so they leave. And we'll also talk a little bit about the circulatory system, which uses blood to transport materials to wherever those invaders are. So what I want you to do is fold your paper in half. And on one side, we're going to talk about antibody-mediated immunity. So we'll title it with that. And what antibodies are blood proteins produced in response to a specific antigen. It will bind with them. We'll get into that a little bit more. So antibody-mediated immunity. And on the other side, we're going to talk about cell-mediated immunity. And this just has to do with what's fighting off the pathogen or the antigen, whatever bad substance or bad molecule, I should say, is entering. So we're going to start off by using green, because when I think of pathogens, antigens, gross things coming into the body, I think of green. So what's going to enter the body is some kind of immune response driving substance like a pathogen. And I'm going to draw a bacteria for this pathogen. Bacteriophage, and he's going to be a little angry looking scary guy. I'm going to label this pathogen, and in parentheses just write a couple of examples like bacteria, viruses, fungi, etc. So usually your non-specific defenses can fight these guys off. The hairs in your nose will push them away. The mucus in your trachea will push them away. You have your skin keeping them out. But let's say you got a cut or a splinter and all of a sudden this guy is inside your body, and probably lots of its friends too. So immediately when this guy enters the body, you're going to have some white blood cells, which their job is to defend the body, and they're floating around in the blood, which is all over our body, so perfectly in place to always react. And notice that I'm drawing this down the middle because this happens no matter which type of immunity we're working with. So here I'm going to draw a Pac-Man looking like shape. This is not a Pac-Man, but it has a similar shape. Notice that I have a circle here instead of, a little triangle mouth like in Pac-Man. And this is a macrophage. It's a type of white blood cell whose job is to phagocytize, which means it engulfs. So here it comes. It's like a blob, and it's just gonna envelop this this pathogen, and it's going to basically bring it inside of it. So what I'm going to do is draw our little pathogen here in the mouth-like looking area of this macrophage, and then draw a couple of them inside as well to show that they have been phagocytized. And what this macrophage does is it really likes to show off its work. So it's going to basically chew up or break apart these little pathogens, and then it's going to show them for all of its friends to see that it's done a great job. So it's like a show off. So I drew a little, there you can see it, Y-shaped structure coming off of it, and it's going to show just the head of the pathogen or maybe some of the feet of the pathogen sticking off. And there's not really head and feet to a pathogen, but I'm just describing it that way. So it's going to show all of its friends, and when I say friends, all the other immune response players, like other cells, other things that help with immunity, what it just ate. And basically, it's kind of you could even think of it so in my town, basically what it's historically famous for is some big war that happened a long time ago between these two tribes, and all I remember is that when they killed people, they would put their skulls on fence posts to show all the people they killed. You could kind of think of this the same thing. So it's all those skulls and the head posts, and it's look, this is what I captured, and now you should go capture the same thing. It's telling all those immune cells to do the same job. Sorry, that got really morbid, but all gonna be good. Okay, so this is our macrophage. Whose job is to phagocytize and present the pathogen. And once it does that, like I said, it wants to show it off to all of its friends. And so it's going to wander around through the blood and most likely bump right into a helper T cell. I'm going to use red for this. Helper T cells are another type of cell. They do have a nice little nucleus. So I'm going to shade it in and draw a nucleus in the center. And when a helper T cell sees what the macrophage caught, it's going to produce these little guys called cytokines, which are little proteins that attract other cells. So I'm going to write helper T cell down here. And produces cytokines. And this is where we split off. So in terms of antibody-mediated immunity, we're going to head to the left with an arrow. And in terms of cell-mediated immunity, we'll head to the right. And next to both of these arrowheads, I'm going to write cytokines. Because these are going to trigger both types of immunity. And I'm going to just use, I don't know, it doesn't really matter what color, maybe brown or something, and just draw a bunch of dots showing these cytokines. Okay, I'm going to stop this video here and you can check out the next one to continue on.